Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we're going to be talking about 65. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. Oof. Okay. um, we got Adam Driver. He's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, his main claim to fame is the Star Wars sequel trilogy, which is a real shame because his character Kylo Ren, he had so much potential. I mean, I thought in Force Awakens, I thought he looked cool. I liked his mask. I liked his whole look. I liked his whole lightsaber. He just looked cool to me. He really did. But once he removed his mask, all that coolness evaporated, and it just lost me. And then what they did with him in the sequels, they made him like so confused. Like they had no clue what to do with him as a character. They had no clue. It's painfully obvious, and it's just sad because Adam, he tried. He really did try, but it just wasn't enough. Unfortunately, he did give us. They did give us the uh shirtless Kylo Ren meme, so there's that. Um, but yeah, his main stuff is like the Star Wars sequel trilogy was his big claim to fame. What else has he done? Logan Lucky, that was kind of like a middling performer. Black Klansman did really well financially. Uh, The Last Duel did terrible. As House of Gucci did better, but still pretty bleh. And I know like he was in Marriage Story where there was the whole argument with him and Scarlett Johansson. I haven't seen the movie, but I have seen that scene. That scene is just A plus for me. Um, but yeah, Adam Driver is a well known dude at this point. So I mean, I guess that's a pro. He's well known. It's better to be well known than be a total nobody, especially when you're trying to market a movie. Um, so that's pro number one. Pro number two is from Scott Beck and Brian Woods. I know they like to deem themselves as like the people who wrote A Quiet Place, and A Quiet Place was a great movie, fantastic movie. But I mean, that was like 5 years ago, man. I mean, they didn't write the sequel, as far as I know. They weren't involved with the sequel, and the sequel was still really good. So, but yeah, I mean, they wrote A Quiet Place. As I mean, the freaking look at this. The poster like proudly proclaims from the writers of A Quiet Place. I should mention. I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi is one of the producers. Yes, he is. Now, Sam Raimi, we all know who he is. Evil Dead, Spider Man, that dude. But he doesn't exactly have like the golden touch all the time, and I'm pretty sure Scott Beck and Brian was they don't have the golden. Nobody here has the golden touch. But you know, I feel like Adam Driver is like the biggest pro here because I really can't think of any other pros. I mean, what else? What else can I say? It's being advertised. I mean, that's something, I guess. It's better to be advertised than just show up in theaters. So I mean, that's good. That's it. That's literally I can't think of any other pros. I can't think of any other well, I guess there's dinosaurs. People like dinosaurs. Dinosaur movies have done well. I mean, look at the Jurassic World movies the last few years. Each one of them made $1 billion. Didn't matter if two of them were not very good and the first was just okay. Didn't matter. They all made money. So dinosaurs will still sell movie tickets sometimes. So I guess that's a pro. But you can obviously tell I am stretching when it comes to positivity for this movie. Okay, cons. This will be so much easier. Oh, okay. Reviews are terrible. Like really terrible. Like it's last I checked its critic scores at 36%, not good at all. But what's even worse is its audience score. Its audience score, last I checked, was like at 60 something, like 62%, I think, which is horrible for a movie because audiences tend to be like more forgiving towards certain movies. Not this time. Audiences seem like they straight up hate it. Like a low 60% audience score just tells me word of mouth is toxic. It is real toxic, and it's not gonna get any better. Um, so yeah, word of mouth is abysmal here, and it doesn't even have like a cinema score. It is literally like past one, and there's still no cinema score. Like it doesn't show up. That worries me a lot. I think that I imagine if there is a cinema score, if it decides to pop up, it's probably going to be C or lower, maybe a D. Hell, even an F. I wouldn't be shocked if I saw an F cinema score because apparently this movie commits like the it commits like a cardinal sin of movies where it's like painfully boring. It completely just screws up the premise because like the premise of like Adam Driver, like this guy from the future who who like what's the plot? Yeah, uh, an asteroid. I believe an asteroid. Yeah, an asteroid hits his ship and he's sent back 65 million years in the past, the prehistoric age. I mean, that's a cool-ish premise. Like if done well, it could be really cool, but here they just completely botched it. And besides, like I just watched a Jeremy Johns review of 65, and he mentioned how the fact that it was weird that they kind of just openly spoiled the idea that like 65 million years ago, like where they could have done something else. Like they could have named 65 after like the number of passengers on the ship, and then you reveal like later, like at the end, that it was actually in the prehistoric past. That would have been cool. That would have been really cool. But instead, they just like what is this? Like you could have at least done that. That would have drawn a whole lot of intrigue into the movie. But no, they just like it's like openly spoiled what was going on. Like it's just this whole movie is just a disaster, man. But yeah, word of mouth bad. So that's a con. Another con is that competition this weekend is a little rough. You have Scream 6, which sure it's not like the same genre or anything, but Scream 6 is going to be the one movie people are going to watch this weekend. It's going to be that or Creed 3. That's it. Everything else is going to merely exist in underneath in their shadows. So, yeah. So dealing with that, not to mention all the movies coming out in the next few weeks, this movie is fucked. It really is. So yeah, competition is gonna kill this movie, so that's a con. Um, Another con is that this is original sci-fi. Original sci-fi. Ooh, that could be very spotty with that because sure, sometimes sci-fi movies can work out. I mean, Star Wars worked out, obviously. Guardians of the Galaxy, sure, that's based off a Marvel comic, but no one knew who the hell they were before the movie came out. But that movie made money. But not every movie can be a Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy. You have like a ton of bombs in there, a whole bunch of bombs, and like obviously there's a lot of big sci-fi movies here. Trying to think of some real major ones that immediately come to mind, like bombs. I guess there's John Carter. I guess that's one. Battleship is another big bomb. But those are based on pre-existing source material. What else was? Damn, this is a struggle. Is there anything here I could compare this to? Valerian Geostorm, kinda. Life. That's perfect. That's ideal. Yes. Let's compare it to this. So this was also from Sony, and it also came out in March. Like Life did not do very good. It only made like 101 million on like a budget of 58 million. Not great at all. But even then, that movie had a way better reputation than 65. So, yikes. But yeah, that's like one example. But there's like trying to think about this. I know John Carter is an infamous bomb. I know Battleship. I already mentioned those two. After Earth. Oh my god. I think I heard this movie. Someone compared this to compared 65 to After Earth, and I'm like, Jesus, that is not good. That is not good at all. Remember this? This was also from Sony, by the way. Sony's responsible for this and 65. Just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. So yeah, After Earth was like 2013, 10 years ago. Starred Will Smith and Jane Smith. It was basically a more or less a nepotism project where like this was like Jaden's chance to become like a big leading actor, and boy, it did not work out. The movie tanked financially, and it's considered one of the worst. Maybe it's just an awful, awful, awful movie. It's just, oh, I remember it. It's just, I wish I didn't remember it. It's so bad. Um, but yeah, this, ooh, like 65 is it's like the what I'm hearing from 65 reminds me way too much of After Earth, and I do not like that. I don't like that one bit. And I guess there's some other sci-fi movies. There's Elysium, Oblivion. They did fine, but just meh. But yeah, I'm just thinking of After Earth just being like a huge bomb and just a horrible movie. But yeah, original sci-fi can be very hit or miss, and this is sure as shit gonna be a miss. So that's a con. I guess another con is Thursday previews. Although admittedly were better than I expected, they're still not great. It's at 1.225 million, which is pretty lackluster. I mean, comparing this to other movies, if I can compare this to other movies, other like appropriate comparisons, Ad Astra. I didn't even see that movie. I guess I could compare it to that. Kinda. What did that do? 1.5 million, and I only opened for like 19 million. And this also had some pretty iffy word of mouth, but like reviews were still much better than 65. So I don't know if that's a great comparison. Oh, Transcendence. No one remembers this movie. Nobody remembers this movie. This is a huge bomb. I didn't even. I forgot it existed until now. This was a big double disaster. Cost 100 million, made 100 million. Yeet. I feel like its performance is gonna be on par with this. This is a great comparison. Um, it doesn't have like Thursday previews, but it only opened with like 10 million, and I believe that's very much a lot more realistic of a comparison than Trent's Ad Astra. I don't think it's gonna do as bad as Reminiscence though. That's a whole new level of bad. That only made like 4 million total domestically, which is insane to me. I don't think it will do that bad, but yeah, it's ooh. Oh, sorry, I had to like a I had a real long yawn, but fact is, all the movies I just talked about, none of them did well. So that does not bode well for 65 at all. So, and considering how toxic word of mouth is, I feel like it's not going to matter. So, weak preview numbers. So that's a con. Still not seeing the cinema score. I wanted to talk about the cinema score because I know it's going to be awful. I want to see it, but they're not going to, they don't want to show it to me. I feel like they're only going to show it like well after the fact to save face, but yeah. Uh, what else? I think I've covered all the major points. Reviews bad, competition bad, previews not so great. Original sci-fi can be hit or miss. I think that's it. I really think that's it. So, opening weekend. I was thinking this movie wasn't even gonna hit double digits. I was thinking it was gonna just do absolutely horrendous. I mean, it doesn't help. Like, well, okay, the budget here says $91 million. That's how much it was. That's the cost for it when it got. That's just like its production, like when it got produced. But apparently, the budget went down to like 45 million because of like tax rebates or something. I don't know. I don't think I believe that. I don't. I'm not. I don't trust that too much. But no matter if it costs $45 million, $95 million, $91 million, this movie is in a bad, bad, bad place. But this preview number suggests it could at least hit double digits. I'm going with 10 million. That is it. That is as high as I'm going to go. And then it's total. I considering word of mouth being so bad, I don't see it having a long life at all. I see it only reaching like between 20 and 25 million. I'd be shocked if it had longer legs. And that's it. That's it. Oof. So that was the weekend of March 10th. So next weekend I have one movie. Okay. Just one movie. Awesome. One movie to talk about. The Shazam Fury of the Gods. I don't think it's gonna do great because the hype is just not there. It's not there at all, and that really concerns me. So, but it'll be interesting to talk about, especially considering all the DCU drama news that's been happening the last few months. So there's a lot to discuss. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you want to watch any of the past prediction videos, yeah, make sure to okay, oh, it's too late for me to be doing this, but make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. If you want to watch any of the past prediction videos I made this year or the past few years, you can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I covered 65 several times, 6 times actually. Um, the first time was episode 86. I talked about it alongside Dune Part 2 and Man from Toronto. That was the first time. The second time was episode 109. I talked about it alongside Despicable Me 4 and Migration. And apparently other movie like Oh Hell No, which basically doesn't exist anymore. So there's that. So 109, that was the next one. The one after that was 140. I talked about it alongside Madam Web, A Man Called Otto, and A Man Called Otto, and Insidious 5. Yeah, Insidious 5. Talked about it alongside those movies. So that's the next one. And then the next one, episode 155. I talked about it alongside Magic Mike's Last Dance, Karate Kid, The Garfield, Craven the Hunter, Madam Web. Talked about it alongside all those. And then the next one, episode 170. Talked about it alongside Next Goal Wins, Heart of a Lion, and Twisters, and They Listen. And then finally was episode 174, where I talked about the 65, and that was it, just the movie itself, because of its very last minute date change. It was supposed to come out next week, but I decided to move it to this week, which in hindsight was a horrible decision, but oh well. Um, yeah. So if you want to watch all 6 of those episodes or any other cancel episodes I've done, all 180 up to this point, you can go right ahead, binge them all from beginning to now. I highly encourage it, so go do that. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. I just did my February recap technically yesterday, so that's up. So if you want to watch that or any other recap videos I've done on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.